So I'm really pleased to be catching up with Joe Davis this morning. Joe lives in East Garston and trains racehorses. How long have you been training, Joe?
About 15 years, I think.
Blimey.
God, it doesn't seem like yesterday since I started, but yeah, 15 years. I'm not that old.
You don't look it. So tell us how you've been coping during this very strange time, and obviously racing is completely suspended, but how has it been from you on the ground?
Well, if I'm honest, and it's an awful thing to say, and I would wish we hadn't been through it, but for my situation, it actually has been a benefit to stop. We had been struggling with the horse's health for quite some time. And just the week before the coronavirus hit, we had decided to move our horses to Mrs. Brown's other farm in Highworth to try a change of environment. And basically, when the coronavirus hit and the horses' health had been questionable, I said to my staff, right, we're going to turn them all out. I'm not going to charge my owners full fees. The horses will benefit massively from a rest and give them a chance to get over their
whatever
virus.
It was that they had.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said, there's no way on God's earth they'll be racing before June, which has proved right. And then the plan was always to bring them back into work this week, which we've done. And actually it gave my staff and myself a chance to recharge our batteries. It's given me a chance to do the homeschooling with my daughter. And it's really been a blessing in disguise for us. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and sure. I really feel, but it came at the right time for us to have a break.
So your horses that are used to being virtually 24/7 stabled, how do they cope with going out?
If I'm honest, it was quite terrifying to start with. The farm, we have 400 acres and we're very, very lucky. And obviously when we went there, it was still bitterly cold. So when we took the view we were going to turn them away, we were just roughing them off quietly, putting them on the horse walker. And then when the ground was dry enough, we started to turn them out during the day. And actually it took them a good month, even when they were turned out 24/7, to really settle down to it.
Yeah.
It has been I can't tell you the difference in them now. They're staying out at night and we're bringing them in during the day, riding, feeding, and then they're going back out again. And they're really, really turned a corner in themselves. I didn't realise how wrong they were until I see how well they look now, if that makes sense.
Of course. And how easy are they to catch once they've got extra freedom?
To be fair, when we first started turning them out, they were the odd ones, which were we worked them out in the end, but now they all know their routine. The first day we brought them in to start walking last week, oh my God, they're screaming their heads off and absolutely mental, but now they're waiting at the gate ready to come in. They're into their routine. They're nice and relaxed. They're eating well, and actually they can be horses, Just because they're racehorses doesn't mean that they shouldn't be horses. And we never had the turnout in East Garston to be able to do that. And you don't realise what you haven't got until you've got it. Do you know what I mean? It didn't. We made do, and we were so lucky with the yard in East Garston. It's a beautiful, easy yard to work, a lovely barn, and we didn't have the turnout, but you just get by. But to be able to turn them out 24/7 is just it's amazing. I love it.
So do you think they will go back to being 24/7 stabled at some point?
I think during the winter the land is so wet at Highworth. Whether we stay there permanently, we're just waiting to get a gallop put in, and it's getting it in the right place there. And I'm still living in East Garston and just driving backwards and forwards, which is no problem at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's an easy drive. I wouldn't like to go back to it, but I know in the middle of winter the ground is very wet over there, so we have to be sensible. But I'd love to be able to do this till at least October, and just to play it by ear, really. I don't think I would ever want to train again without being able to turn out.
It does seem kinder, doesn't it? More natural.
It is, and when you've struggled with their health for so long.
Mm.
I think American barns are fantastic and amazing to work in, and really good, for us in the winter. But if a horse gets something and you haven't got any isolation boxes, I think you're very hard pushed to stop it going round and round and round. So, and I think if the just being able to turn out the fresh air, you can always put another rug on them. Being able to separate them if one of them's not right.
I mean, it's just everything you're talking about is what we're going through, the human race is going through at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, and absolutely right. When you think how far mucus travels when they blow their nose, how easy it is to spread. Absolutely, it's what we're going through. I mean, I think my gut instinct with the coronavirus is it's dying out, and I think it'll go as soon as it's come. I don't know. I think the antibody test will be a massive plus if we can do that. The trouble is, the more we know, the less we know about it at the moment, it seems. I know
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I know that I think I'm going to have an antibody test because I'm pretty convinced we had it, myself and Ella and one of the lads that works for me, in February. And I don't think I've been as worried about it as I probably should have been, because in my head I'm convinced I've had it. So maybe it's an idea to have do an antibody test and see.
But they don't even know whether that means you'll be immune from getting it again.
Exactly. Yeah. No, absolutely. But you'd like to hope.
Yeah.
Again, from the horses, you'd like to hope that when you get it again, but that doesn't really follow, because they do seem to go downhill again when they get sick again. And, you'd think they should build up immunity, but I think it's the same with any living being. If you're run down and you're stressed, your immune system is so much weaker, isn't it?
Definitely. So when do you think racing? When will it start again? And what will are they going to race without crowds?
Yeah, we all have to do. So they're supposed to be starting racing at the beginning of June, flat racing. There's going to be more races on a card, but less meetings. They're making us do an online course to show that we understand all about the PPE and social distancing, and there won't be any canteens, there won't be, the vaccinations for the horses all have to now be put onto an app so that we don't have to pass over passports and things. And, there's an awful lot they've done. I think that they've done incredibly well. And they can only do the BHA as much as the government will allow them to do. It's all very well we're saying we need this, we need that, we need to be racing, but we can only race when the government says it's safe to do so, I mean, it is a multi-million-pound industry, and I do understand the revenue it brings, but at the same time, people's health is more important.
Absolutely.
And I think they will start racing, the flat racing, and I think gradually things will start to get back to normal, I think. It's just
the crowd. I mean, it's like football stadiums, the crowds, you're so squashed in like sardines, aren't you?
Absolutely. But from what I've been reading, I don't know if it's right, but transmission outdoors seems to be far lower.
Yeah.
There won't be crowds to start with. It will be behind closed doors, and rightly so. I suppose it's the same with everything, though, isn't it? One step at a time, step at a time, and we just learn as we go.
I think what's the challenge is going to be, as soon as you see a friend or a relative or you go back into your work environment, you forget.
Of course you do, absolutely.
Go back to old habits so easily.
Well, you say that. Funny enough, you do and you don't. I mean, I have two staff that work for me. I've been so lucky, and I have to say, hats off again to the government, because I furloughed them for a few weeks each, which I would not have been able to keep going, and I just went over and fed the horses and what have you, and it really helped me to get through financially, because I'm at my lowest number of horses than I've had before, due to the horses' health, and I have to say, now we're back at work, we normally sort of give each other a hug some days or what have you, but there's you automatically, we are always keeping our social distance. It seems something that we've learned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because we always disinfect and keep things clean anyway, it's not a big step to to do that, you know.
Yeah, well, you guys have been dealing with a virus with the horses for a while, so you're very conscious of it all.
Do you know, you're absolutely right. And, you know, they say everything happens for a reason, but you know, sometimes it's hard to fathom that reason at the time. And it's just being sensible. The hardest thing I'm finding is my mum's 73 and she lives in Shropshire. And we haven't seen her since the beginning of March. And I think she's taken it quite hard. She's lost 2 friends that, although they had other illnesses, their death certificates were COVID. And I think she's finding it incredibly hard. And so to be able to see her, she doesn't want to see us. She doesn't want until it's safe. But when that is going to be, I don't know. But on the whole, you realise what an insular life you lead when it doesn't really change, quite frankly. You know, it's work and child and work and that's it, really. You know, it doesn't worry me. But listen, it would be lovely to be able to go to the pub for a drink, but in time.
And we're so lucky living in a village that you can go for a walk and say hello to people.
Yeah.
Who are your neighbours, but they're also your friends. You've known them for years. So.
Absolutely. And I have to say, we went for a walk with the ponies. I didn't let my daughter ride for the majority of the time where we weren't sure what was happening. And, you know, my theory was, God forbid she fell off, you know, the more you know with ponies and horses, you know, the more you know what can happen. And then when I did let her ride again, we went for a walk around the village, and it was so nice to be able to say hi to everyone, you know. It was just lovely. And that, for me, is a huge thing about not really wanting to leave East Garston. And it sounds silly because we haven't had the best success with the horses, but at the same time, you know, your quality of life's as important, isn't it? You know, your community you live in, and
if the commute is manageable, then hopefully you can split your life between here and Highworth.
Yeah, I can do that for now, and you know, we'll see. It's you know, one day at a time, really. I've become very pragmatic about life. It's just take it as it comes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. You said you were in the middle of painting a barn, or?
Oh, well, the barn here where the horses were, that's kept me occupied during lockdown. I dug out all the boxes, I power washed it all, and painted every brick and bit of wood in there. So that's like 21 stables. It got a little bit tedious at the end, but actually I'm quite proud. I did that. Yeah, I'm quite proud. And it's immaculate now. So for whoever we rent it to or what have you in the future, it will be a fantastic yard for a livery yard or pre-training. But we're not doing anything about it yet. But that will be done soon, I'd imagine. So yeah, I'm very proud.
Well done. You kept busy.
Yes, absolutely. That and homeschooling. I have to say, I take my hat off to teachers.
Oh gosh, yes. Nobody's got new respect for teachers.
Massive respect. Yes. And the sooner they can go back to school, quite frankly, better.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird experience, but that's a whole other conversation, I think. What it's going to be like for the kids at school.
I think. I do know what they adapt though, Penny. I think they adapt, and I think, you know, Ella's. Listen, I cannot complain. She has a pony here. We've got space. We've got the dogs, and I'm very lucky that I can Greg and I can juggle our jobs. That we can cope. But I have to say, my heart goes out to all those people stuck in a flat and you know with more than one child, and I think all credit to you for coping. You know. So
we're so lucky out here.
Oh, so lucky. The walks we've been on, I have never done since I've been here. So it's amazing to be able to just go out walking with the dogs, and you know, and every day I wake up, I'm grateful. So you know, you can say no more, really.
Me too. Lovely. Well, thanks, Jo, and best of luck with whatever you decide to do. And do you have any idea when you will have your first horse racing? Will you race this year?
We're aiming at the middle of July. If jump racing starts the beginning of July, we're aiming for around the middle of July. Again, the horses will tell me. At the moment, we're doing loads of trotting. We'll start cantering away next week. We're incredibly lucky to have the acreage we've got to ride round. I'm actually found my love for it again, where I just got to the point where I could quite happily have given up. But I've started to look forward again and you know have a bit of confidence again, which is nice. So we'll see, one day at a time.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we'll check in with you in July, see how you're getting on.
Thank you,
and
Penny.
then we know who we can root for. So will it be televised as normal, even if there's no physical crowd?
Yes, because media rights bring a lot of revenue into racecourses, and actually I think people really need, they've had no sport to watch, and I think it's amazing to have nothing for people to focus on. So I think it would be so good for people. I'm not saying the gambling's good, but the actual thrill of the sport again would be fantastic for people.
No, get back. Because I mean, we have got to keep physically safe, but the mental effect of this is huge. So.
And it's you don't give enough credit. And I've had very few bad days, I have to say. But when I've spoken, you forget to look at it from other people's perspective. My mother would be the last person on this earth I would have thought would have worried. And to hear how much it's affected her mentally, and then other friends of mine who say, because we don't know, it's so hard to cope because we don't know what. But I've become literally one day at a time, and if you can't change something, you can't worry about it because you can't change it. Because I think that's the only way you can cope.
Absolutely. Well,
so it's fine. It's fine. It could be worse.
Good.
We're healthy.
Good. Lovely. Thanks so much, Jo.
No worries, Penny. All right. Thank
you.
Take care. Bye. Bye.